Assalamu alaikum students, welcome back to Global Public School online classes. In our previous class we had completed the lesson from the geography, that's the earth, our living planet. In this class we're going to start the new lesson from the history. After sources we're going to start the new lesson from the history, that's chapter 2, the geographical features and the prehistoric India. So this is the chapter 2 of your history that we're going to start today. So let's see what are the quick learning points from this lesson which we're going to study here. The physical features of India. India is both a subcontinent and peninsula. Recognize the neighboring countries of India. The living style of man in the prehistoric period. The Stone Age. All that we're going to study here. Okay students, let's come back to the explanation of this lesson part. The first and foremost important thing is the geographical environment has been an influencing in every country and the people in the world. There's a special relationship between the human life and also to the environment of that particular country. You can see the world map which clearly shows how important the relationship between the people and also the relationship between the environment here. And India is a subcontinent because it has occupied a huge area in the southern part of the Asian continent. India is a subcontinent because it has occupied a huge place from the Asian continent. And it is also called as a peninsula because India is a subcontinent. Why? Because as it is surrounded by the water on the three sides and land on the one side. So it is called as the peninsula because it is surrounded by the water from the three sides and one part of the land. Three part of the water and one part of the land. That's why it's called as peninsula. And here see the neighboring countries of India: Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. You can see here students the neighboring countries of India. The land frontiers which comes from 15,200 kilometers. Water frontiers is 6,100 kilometers. We have 29 states, 7 union territories, and the national capital what we have is 1, and we are at second place in terms of the population, 7th place in terms of the area, and according to a 2011 census the population of India is 121 crores. So let's see the quick neighboring countries of India here: Myanmar, Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. These are the neighboring countries which shares the water borders of India. So as I said, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan. So these are the neighboring countries of India. So let's talk about some of the geographical features here. The geographical features means the India has been actually divided into 4 parts. One is covered with the Himalayan mountains, that's on the yellow color we chose. The second one we call that as the Indo-Genetic Plain, which is in of green color. The third one is Deccan Plateau, and the fourth one is coastal region. So students, let's study things in a detail. So the coastal regions are the blue in color. The first thing, the Himalayan mountains. You can see the icy mountains here in the other part of the picture. The snow-capped mountains in the north include some of the tallest mountains peak in the world, and I think that is the biggest safety and security to our India, which actually helps us to preserve the safety. And these have been a very few intrusions in the ancient India from the northern Himalayan regions. So these are the peak mountains, the big mountains which actually act like a safety to India from the ancient times. You can see here the two normally the attacks have been mainly from the north to the western side through the valleys of the Bolan and Khyber valleys. You can see here the Bolan Pass and the Khyber Pass. So the next comes up here is of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. We also call that as Indo-Genetic Plain. So the flat Indo-Genetic plains are extremely fertile. These are the places where the land is very much fertilized, where the crops can be easily grown, and the ancient civilization of Indus Valley and the Vedic period have actually flourished here, have become very popular here, because many battles have been fought from time to time to establish their control over this areas, and usually most of the dynasties have established their control over this fertile genetic plain also, and established then empires here. And as I said, these are the places where the fertilization of the land was very much popular, because of which most of the dynasties have come here, fought, and they have established their empires in this kind of places. So the Narmada river separates the India into two parts. Let's see that. One, it separates as a Malwa Plateau, and the other one is a Deccan Plateau. So see here the Malwa Plateau and the Deccan Plateau. So let's see about the Deccan Plateau. The Mauryas and the Guptas ruled these two areas of ancient India from the earlier days. And when it comes to the coastal region, the fourth part of this, the coastal regions, you can see the blue color is actually the colors which covered here in the blue, we call it as a coastal region, the touching point of India. So the Indian coastline is vast and stretches over 6,100 kilometers here. The eastern coastline is actually called as the Coromandel coast, and whereas the western coastline is actually called as the Konkan and Malabar coast. The numerous ports are on this coastline had attracted the Romans from time to time, because normally the shipping will be more important and more popular here. So we have a lot of ports coming up here, and the foreign trade was carried on these areas through the sea routes, and as a result port towns have flourished, have become very popular, resulting in the rise of powerful kingdoms in South India like Pandyas, Cheras and Cholas. See, these are the ports which actually most of the time runs, because of which a lot of business activities used to happen, and because of which a lot of kings, they have actually established their kingdoms here. That's like Pandyas, Cheras and Cholas here. So the other important information about this coastal region is the diversity in Indian geographical environment has always influenced the lives of the communities living here. The India is actually filled with n number of communities here. Despite the communal diversity, there exists a cultural unity which binds all these diversities. Though we have the lot of communities in India, but there's a one cultural unity, is that our Indian cultural unity, which binds all these diversities in India. And unity in diversity is the essence of this culture. So for our Indian essence, the culture which we talk about is unity in diversity, is the tagline which we actually give it to our India. Students, so in this class we studied about the different types of regions of our India, and we also studied about our countries there in the peninsula subcontinent, and why do we call it as subcontinent, all that we studied. So the further thing which we're going to explain that in your next class. Till then, stay safe, stay home, and keep your learning button on, and please submit the explanatory notes of this through the Google Classroom app. If you have any doubts, reach out to me at any point of time. Thank you so much, students. Allah Hafiz.